So as far as allyship, historical and current applications, this is another one where if we were to have an expert here, they probably would have some more targeted, specific suggestions for us. But for this conversation, I just want to sort of start expanding our awareness and our consciousness. Let's start asking some questions out there in terms of like, what is, so the next, by the way, so we did arts, academics, this is allyship. So how does manhood affect us? How does it affect other people? So things we can be looking into. How have others experienced men throughout history? Not, what do I think being a man means in the world? What is other people's experience of men? And I don't get to say what that is. I don't get to assume. I don't get to discredit their story. They tell me what their life experience is. They know their life. I don't know their life. I know my life. They know their life. So I listen to them and I take them at their word. Next question. How accountable are you? Are you able to be held accountable if you make a mistake or if you have room to learn on a thing? Are you willing to take accountability or do you resist it and like, oh, no, I just have to blame somebody else? So accountability, we'll probably have to do a whole episode on it, but that's something I try to be aware of is like, for one, am I taking accountability for my actions, for my words, for my impact? And I also look at other people and I say, is this person taking accountability for their actions, for their energy, for their impact? And that informs largely, whether or not I trust somebody to do a certain thing, right? Or whether or not I find that somebody is worth my time and energy or my vote or something like that, right? So like these things are important questions and they tell us a lot. To that end, how accountable are the men in your social sphere? How accountable are they for their actions? Now remember, accountability doesn't mean punishment. It just means saying, hey, I acknowledge that I had a part in that. I messed up. I'm going to do this to make an adjustment. Accountability is easy. It doesn't have to be hostile. It doesn't have to be anything. So are you accountable? And are the men in your social sphere accountable? Let me know. Let me know in the comments of all this, but also it's just a question for you to be walking around asking yourself. So when you're looking at the world and you see men out there exercising their manhood, good men tend to take accountability if there's a problem. And people who are not being good men tend to not want to take accountability. They want to blame others for things and they want to make excuses. A lot of times too, they'll cause a problem and then don't want to take accountability for it too. So sometimes it's just not owning up to a thing that you clearly did. And so accountability is a big tell on whether or not there are good men present.